Hello and welcome to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be taking a look at a new game on the channel. This is Breachway. This is a demo currently available on Steam for the game that is due to enter early access, I understand, on the 30th of August, so not too far away. It's pretty good. I've played it, I enjoyed it. It's a deck builder game, I guess you'd call it, but it's quite similar to something like FTL. We're doing space combat, dogfighting, I guess you'd kind of class it, but using cards to target specific parts of enemy ships to disable them tactically and stuff. It's quite good fun. And I thought I'd take a look at it on the channel. I'm actually going to play the prologue initially because there are quite a lot of gameplay elements, but the prologue does a really good job of introducing those one at a time, so we don't get too overwhelmed with info all at the start. So let's start a new run and take a look for ourselves. A sudden jolt awakens you as you hear the distinct beeping of doors opening. As reality creeps back in, you slowly recognize your surroundings, the cramped confines of your quarters on the Atlas. So it's got sort of like story elements linking it all together, which are kind of cool, but it doesn't seem to be voiced, so. Hey, wake up! The captain wants to see us on the command deck. He seems pretty agitated, and you look groggy as hell, so let me do the talking. Head over to command deck. There's an unusual flurry of activity as you enter the command deck. The captain, studying the data feed on one of the consoles, beckons the two of you over. Our infrared sensors detected a large explosion in Solarii space, right where one of their research stations is located. Whatever they were up to, looks like it didn't go as planned. So this might be our big break then, a chance to turn this scavenging mission around and not go home empty-handed. Could be. We're closer to the station than any of the Solarii fleets in the system. We can't risk approaching with the Atlas, however, as it would be picked up by fleet scanners and we'd be done for. Small ship like the Magpie, though, launched at our current speed, could get there undetected. It'll run on minimal reactor capacity, using only maneuvering thrusters for flight path adjustments. With all due respect, sir, the fireworks will likely attract other scavengers by the time we get there. Which is why the lieutenant here is tasked with protecting the Magpie in case things go south. I'll assemble a team, while you make the necessary preparations. Report at the docking bay in 30 minutes. Head out. So the first thing it introduces us to is ship selection. I'm not going to read every tutorial thing, but we'll kind of explain what it means as we go. But this is ship selection. At the beginning, we only have our sort of introductory ship available, which is the Magpie. Much like FTL does when you're choosing a ship, they all have different numbers of hard points for weapons and utilities, each of which gives you a certain number of related cards. Like, for instance, our laser cutter is going to give us damaging shots. Our shield is shielding shots, like blocking shots, and engineering does sort of various sort of utility tasks, which is kind of cool. We'll get to everything else, but for now we're just going to click next and accept. So it's just describing the Magpie. It's a compact vessel equipped with an industrial laser cutter and a set of robotic arms perfectly suited for scavenging missions. So quite basic, but it's going to introduce us to the various gameplay elements. Tristan Singh. Alright, if we just follow the nav points I laid out, we should be at the wreckage in about 2 days, and then we rendezvous back with the Atlas. We just stick to the asteroid belt as much as we can to avoid detection. Easy. I really don't see why the captain decided to put you in charge of my ship. What's your tone? While we're on the mission, this is your new captain. Come on now, we got a mission to do. You can fight all you want once we're back at the hauler. Soon things settle down and everyone is at their assigned post. Time to start familiarizing yourself with the ship's command console. Okay, so this is where we start, this white dot here, that's us. So if we click on the first waypoint, so this as the tutorial area, this is just one line, but as we see when we get to like the first proper map, it looks very much like FTL with lots of different nodes to choose from. But we're just going to go to the first waypoint here. Your console flashes a warning indicating combat near your flight path. Not long after, the infrared sensors flare as a ship explodes. The remaining ship changes course, heading in your direction. There's no way their sensors spotted us. We've been running cold for almost a day now. Just our luck then, their flight path will take them right within radar detection range. So preparing for combat. So this is just going to teach us the very, very basic sort of combat mechanics. Okay, so yeah, so these are our cards down at the bottom highlighted. We have energy here in this little box that I'm indicating with the mouse pointer. The 6 is how much we have to start with. The 4 is how much it will regenerate per turn, which is just explaining to us there. enemy actions are quite interesting because you can see what their intention is. But these pips kind of fill up per turn, so this laser pulse isn't going to hit us now. It's going to hit us next turn, well, after next turn, because it'll fill up. This pip will fill up in its next turn, and then at the end of its turn, it'll fire. So similar with the shielding that it's doing there as well. You play cards by dragging and dropping them over the crosshairs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it's just telling us to attack twice, so we can see this slice card. It's going to deal 4 damage. It's going to cost us 3 energy, so we can play both. We don't need to block because it's not attacking us this turn. Zzz. So we're not being precise at the moment. We're going to get into precision targeting in a battle or two. And then we've used up our energy, so it's time to end the turn. Okay, so all that happens on his turn is the cards fill up with a little pip. It's talked about our shields. There in the bottom left, we can see that we've got 50... that's not shield points, that's hull points. But if we play our block card, we'll see that should give us... It'll give us 4 shields, which will appear over the hull thing there. So it's telling us we've got 4 shield, which is going to block all the damage from its lasers. Now this is slightly different to this game. So after playing a card, it moves to your cooldown pile. Cooldown duration is indicated by the number next to the timer icon on the card, and I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. Once off cooldown, it returns to your draw pile. Press the tab key or click the card status UI for an overview of cards in your draw pile. If I do tab now, I don't quite... So we can see the timer thing here anyway. Okay, yeah, so usually it's 3 cooldowns for a slice, but we can see it's actually 2 turns because it's already been cooling down for a turn, and 3 turns there for the block. Cards do have different cooldown times though. These are all the ones I have here. Just they're all 3 turns. So not much to do. End turn. We're going to take a hit, but the shields are going to take it, so we don't take any hull damage there. Persistent effects on your ship appear above your card hand, so they'll get little things there. Some effects last for a set amount of turns, while others have an upkeep condition. So this is so if I was to play this target lock, which I will, it deals. Our attacks will deal +1 damage, but we have to attack each turn in order to maintain the effect. So we'll play this. Oh no, we do have to target the ship. Then I'll play my slice. It's going to deal 5 damage now. We notice, a 1 more than previously. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add at this point, so we'll attack. He's down to 5 health now. I think that's all we can do, so we'll end our turn. He's going to shield up. Now, I can't remember if it's... I don't think I mentioned it, but I don't know if it said it in the tutorial stuff, but the shield's half per turn. So, I can slice it now. It's going to do 5 damage, so I'll only do 1 hull damage. If I was to not do anything, because I know he's going to attack next time, so we're going to block his attack. That'll be down to 2 next time. Oh, one other thing to mention as well is that your 3 cards here, they don't... they persist between turns, so you don't draw 3 fresh cards each turn. And also, your unused resources persist as well, which is quite cool. So he's got 2 shields now, because I didn't attack, so that's halved. I did lose my status effect, but it's okay, because we're just gonna do these. Actually, I don't know if these 2 are going to be enough.
Enemy shields down.
Yeah. Oh, it is going to be enough. There we go. There we go. So we get some credit rewards. You do get other types of rewards, but again, they'll be introduced to us gradually. The area is starting to get pretty lively. We should expect more combat on our approach to the station. Looks like we're not the only ones stupid enough to raid a Solarii facility. Too late to hide our presence now. Asking for permission to restore the reactor's ordnance protocol. That should allow us to squeeze some more power out of it. It will also improve our laser's photon output. Permission granted. Override the cutter's safety protocols. We need more firepower. Aye, Captain. That should enable it to emit concentrated laser pulses. Won't be a military-grade laser, but it'll be close. Okay, so now, like we had energy as a resource, we now have an additional resource to manage, which is ordnance, which is the main resource for our attacks moving forward. So if I open up our ship status, little drop-down menu, we can see that it's here above the energy. And like FTL and certain other sort of sci-fi games as well, we have reactor power that we can assign to different functions. So at the moment, we've got 4 reactor pips going to energy, which is giving us the 4 energy per turn. If I click 1 pip into ordnance, that'll give us 1 ordnance per turn. So I can right-click on energy twice to remove 2 power, so we're down to 2 energy per turn, and we'll stick that in ordnance to give that 3 per turn. And you can upgrade the reactors as well, which we'll get to eventually. But yeah, we'll leave it as what it suggests for now. So energy moving forward is pretty much just going to be for the shields, whereas some cards use ordnance and energy, it's worth noting. But we'll close that and move to the next node. Oh, no, this one. We've got a ship closing in on an attack vector. Looks like pirates. Okay, new ship. So we're going to be... so this is just saying you can redistribute reactor power anytime in combat. So right-click to remove a power, left-click to add it. Warning, adding 1 power to a resource generates 1 heat. Heat changes take place after playing the next card. And basically you can build up a certain amount of heat and then you take some damage, I think. So ships have a heat, resistance, and dissipation value. So I think that's just saying we can take up to 3 heat before we take damage, and it'll dissipate at 1 per turn. But for every point of overheat, we'll deal 1 damage. Yeah. Okay. But it's okay. We're going to leave it at this setting pretty much for now. So I'm going to add... So what's it doing? It's going to hit us with a laser, so blocking's probably a wise idea. I can only play 1 of these cards. If I play the target lock, then I'll just lose it because I haven't attacked. So I'm going to have to play the beam sweep here. Deal 6 damage, ignite 3. And that means I think we've added 2 heat to it. I'm not sure why I didn't add 3, but there we go. Or maybe it's... yeah, I don't know. Probably me misunderstanding something. Enemy is charging up a heavy... Oh, I've missed the text. But we're going to do precision attacks now. Basically, he was saying it's charging up this big laser here. We've got 3 turns. But we can target that and try to take it down before it does that. But look at your ship. You can orbit the camera while keeping the left mouse button pressed. Can we do that in combat? Okay. But each piece of equipment has a durability value, this shield thing here. When it hits 0, that part will break, and it's going to take them a certain number of turns. Well, it says 3 turns to repair that part. So that's good. Right, you can also discard cards. As I was saying, the cards persist per turn. But if you know, because you can see the enemy intentions, if you know, for instance, that there's no point blocking, you can discard block cards in the hope of getting more attack cards next time. But the discarded cards do go on cooldown as if they've been played. So I'm going to put on the target lock, give us some more damage. So I've got 5 left, so I can do 1 attack, but we'll target the... let's try the... Can I do... Yeah. So you can kind of drag the camera around and have a look at the ship, which is kind of cool. So this is the big laser anyway. So that's the one we're going to hit. I think I can drag it there. Can I drag it there? Yes, I can. But you can also do it here, which is probably the easier way of doing it. Just so you know you're hitting the thing you're meant to be hitting. So we're going to do 6 damage to it, I think. No, I only did 5. Why did it... Oh, these are generally 4 damage, aren't they? Okay. So that's all we can do. Let's leave that for now. Yeah. Alright, okay. So we're saying I should discard this block card, which I will do. We don't need to block this turn. I could play 1 attack, but we want to target the... we can actually knock out this heavy cannon, so we've done that. And while you do that, it still does hull damage as well, so you are doing like this sort of proper damage to the enemy when you're targeting various components. Now he's shielded up, but he can't attack us for probably 3 turns now. I don't know if these pips reset or if they persist after it's been repaired. But he's only got 9 damage, so we're going to try and kill him first anyway. I can only do 1 attack. Beam sweep does 7 damage, so I think that's probably... So we'll do 3 damage to him, but it will do that ignite damage as well.
Enemy shields down.
I only did 1. What am I missing about that? Probably something. Here we go. Hull damage required to add a heat. Well, that's why, because he was shielded. Damages hull for each point above resistance on turn start. Okay. Yeah, so it's quite hard to stack up at the moment, but you can probably get into certain builds that that do that, I would think, over a run. And that for now, anyway. So he can't do anything, so it's just going to go back to us. I can do one attack, and this should kill him, so we'll do that. Right, so this time we get an infrared emitter. So we'll click that. That's as well as the credits reward. It seems to be worth a certain amount, so I think you can probably go to shops and sell it if you wanted to. Let's just leave that for now. Captain, we should hook up the mass refiner module to the reactor. It's crucial for improving our reactor's power output and strengthening the Magpie's shield system. It was originally meant for deflecting dust and minor asteroids, not high-powered lasers. I can modify it to suspend high-density particles in its magnetic field, diffusing laser beams and absorbing kinetic force. This improves defense, but requires mass. We also salvaged a functional subsystem from that ship. I'm sure we can put it to good use. It might help us get out of this in one piece. I'll be claiming that as reparations for my ship when we're back on the Atlas. The Magpie will need a new coat of paint once all of this is over. So, we're going to look at reactor upgrade now. So we've got enough credits to earn ourselves another pip on our reactor, which we're going to do. That looks like it's going to increase to improve each time you do it. You now have access to the mass resource used for upgrades and repairs. Add your... Yeah, okay. So I didn't really... In my little playthrough, I didn't really understand mass that well. So we'll see what effect that has in... Okay, so I can see the modified... I can't click on the cards, unfortunately. Here we go. So, it's improved our block cards. As you remember, they gave us 4 shield before, but using a mass as well as the 2 energy has given us extra shields on those cards, which is kind of cool. What are we doing? So we're adding the infrared emitter. So this is a little... You can add a little modifier unit to your... some of your hard points with this empty pip here. I don't know if some will take 2. This is going to fill up our modified cutter, but it's going to... Any attack from this weapon that deals hull damage adds an extra heat, so we can see that those heat cards are suddenly going to do have a bit more effect. Only one subsystem of the same type can be added to an equipment. Okay, so... But I can see there that there's some that have 2, so... Right. But it says of the same types. There's probably like different types. Alright, so we're going to go to the station wreckage. The remains of the station are in view. Things seem quiet, but the tension in the crew is palpable. Judging by the infrared emissions, there should still be some functional equipment we can salvage in that section over there. Combat training. Wait, look at the fluctuation in those readings. I'll bet you a week's rations that there's a ship lying in wait to spring an ambush. Prep the laser and let's go around to get the jump on them instead. So here we have a choice. We can move closer, which seems like a bad idea. I imagine we'd just get ambushed. Or we can choose to circle around the wreckage and attack, giving us advantage. The first attack, we deal extra +3 damage. So that's kind of cool. I'll do that one. Crew abilities being introduced now. So we can see in the bottom right we have little portraits for our crew. They use a resource called... Well, it's linked to morale, which we'll get into, but it's called command points here. They don't use regular resources, they use command points and have a cooldown after use. Your command point capacity is determined by the number of crew on board, +3 points per crew. Now I have 8 command points. These do not regenerate per turn that I've seen. These just seem to be your total for the mission. But you can, for example, select... I think that's us, isn't it? The captain, us. And it means that we'll use 5 command points, and our next attack on this turn will deal 50% damage. Now, I'm not sure if that's useful here, because they've got 6 shields, so that whatever extra damage we do, a lot of it's going to be absorbed by the shield. So, but we don't have to play it now. We can wait, but we can get extra 2 of each resource if we choose... I've forgotten her name here. And then our pilot, I think he is, buffs our shields for a turn. If I play this, which I will, it means we can't do the others on this combat, but that's fine. So So what have we got here? Ambush. Okay, so this is our extra 3 damage. Infrared emitter, that's the thing we equipped to do extra heat damage. What are they doing? So they're going to hit us with a laser, so we're going to want to block that, aren't we? So we're blocking all of that. We can afford to do one of these attacks. Just thinking if I probably don't want to take my energy down. I was wondering if I did that, I could play both attacks. Is it the first attack? Or the first attack, yes. We want to do this. It's going to do 9 damage. So it's going to go through those shields. It's going to hit the hull and do heat damage. I mean, let's try this. If I take the mass off and put it there, so we've generated a heat. Oh, it doesn't give it. Okay, so it doesn't give it to us this turn. I might undo that then. I was hoping it'd give us 6 for this turn, and we could have played both these cards. So I'm going to do this.
Enemy shield down.
It's going to tank a lot of that, but it has added heat, which is kind of good. So that's our turn. Yeah, it's going to hit that. It's going to... Lasers are going to eat it. That's fine. Now, missiles enemies can launch is a delayed attack. So we get a little symbol here saying there's a missile incoming. We will get something to be able to destroy that, but it just means at the end of this turn, he's going to hit us with that missile for 4 and this laser pulse for 4. So I don't have a shield card, so we're going to have to tank that damage. I think I'm going to take the extra 50% damage, and I'll do another beam sweep, I think, because that's going to, again, do quite nice damage to them as a whole. And we're dealing that sort of heat damage now, because we've set his missiles on fire, basically. Yep, so I guess we'll leave that. Yeah, so we've taken some hull damage, because we weren't able to shield. He's going to hit us with 4 lasers, so we're going to need to block that. Again, I kind of want to get this up to... I mean, we do need the shields, I suppose, so maybe I'm not going to alter that for now. But we're going to start targeting his... It's the laser, because that's hitting every turn. It's quite annoying. Right. So he took the heat damage there.
Incoming missile.
Got a missile incoming. Do get another block card, so I'm going to be able to mitigate most of that. A laser pulse. Yeah, that's... here's laser again. So we're keeping up the fire, so he's taking extra damage each time from the overheat we're inflicting. He's only got 7 left. I mean, this will... Oh, beam sweep will kill him. No, it won't. Oh, it will because of the heat. There we go. So if I end turn, he'll actually just blow up. He should blow up on... Yeah, there we go. So, we now have a missile. So we'll add... Hang on. Add that. I'm trying. Click on the add card button. I'm trying. I don't know why. Okay, I'm just going to pause. I'm going to try tabbing in and out of the game and just see if whatever the issue is, I can get past it. Okay, I actually had to quit out the game and come back in, but luckily you can, like a lot of these type of games, when you go back into the game, it says continue your run, and I actually just came back in at the beginning of this combat, which I've done, but I got slightly different cards, which is why my health is different. I got more block cards this time. So we're going to do next. Add card. There we go. So that's what it should have done the first time. And it did when I played the tutorial once already. But now we get to pick a card, any card, to add to our lot. So what we got here, expand capacity, add 1 card slot, which costs... So what does this do? Expand capacity, add 1 card slot, costs 1 of those things for every existing card slot. Effect does not expire. Card removed from deck. Well, it's 1 card slot. Oh, I see. So you can draw more cards but in your hand. Alright. Maybe. Raise shield. If you don't have shields, add 12. And 1 cooldown is that? Otherwise, add 6 shields. Could be good. Or paired pulse. Deal 3 damage twice. And that's a precision strike. I quite like that, actually. I'm going to take paired pulse. There we go. So we can just click on the basic missile rack now and take that too. So we have an empty hard point on our ship. So we're going to go and add that. But first it's going to tell us about morale. Morale determines the rate at which your crew command points recharge on entering a node. So it never recharges during a fight, but between fights it will. So I used, again, I used slightly different powers in that one, so I've ended up with a slightly different number of command points than I did previously. Some choices in event, blah, blah, blah. So, area clear, no further hostiles in engagement range. Deploying a recon drone for a visual sweep of the wreckage. Look behind that plating. That black box is the station's main data storage and backup unit. It's bound to have a lot of valuable research data we can sell. Who knows what they were cooking up here? Are you out of your mind? If the Solarii catch wind of us stealing that, we're as good as dead. We need a new air recycling and ventilation system back at the station, don't we? This is why we went on this scavenging run in the first place. This will bring in enough credits for all of that and more. Enough squabbling. We've got a limited window before more hostiles arrive. Our orders were to retrieve all valuable salvage, so let's get to work. I can't drop that down. The crew quickly works to retrieve the black box and fill the Magpie's cargo bay with any valuable salvage they can find. After the work is done, you set course for the rendezvous point with the Atlas. So we're going to open the ship's UI, and we're going to add the missiles to our launch bay, so we can fire missiles now. It gives you a couple of cards anyway. So let's move on to the rendezvous point. Incoming type beam transmission from the Atlas. Magpie, this is the Atlas. We've got a situation. The Solarii have us flagged for interrogation. They've most likely got all their sensors pointed at us until we meet up with their patrol ships. Any attempt to pick you up would incriminate us both. We'll be fine, but I'm afraid you'll have to return to the station on your own. Keep your burn minimal and maintain a low profile until you're clear. Roger that, Captain. Stay safe. I've heard about Solarii interrogation methods. I wouldn't want to be on the Atlas right now. There's an alternate route we can take that will keep us away from any major flight corridors and known Solarii fleet positions. Should work. We have enough Delta 5 and remaining fuel to get us to the station. Okay, set an alternate route. That'll take us straight through Deadweight, which is kind of the pirate faction in the game. Controlled territory, though. A solitary scavenger ship is sure to attract some attention from those pirate scum. We'd best be on our toes. So, we can see that we've got a branching type now, and it's going to tell us what those look like. Main paths are blue, that's the one we've been following. Secondary paths, marked by thin yellow lines, which is the one we're going to take, permit both forward and backward movement. Okay, so this is one way, these can be two-way. Moving to a node on a secondary path, the yellow ones, consumes a fuel, and we see that we've added fuel to our little thing now, so we've got 5 fuel. So, I don't know why we'd want to go backwards. I mean, I assume sometimes there's alternative routes you can take, but we're just going to continue tout droit here. Captain, we've intercepted a distress call. A civilian... Is it? I thought I was the captain. Okay. A civilian transport is under attack by a deadweight raider. They won't last long without our intervention. If we route power to the thrusters for max burn, we could intercept in time, pulling the raider's focus. That's too risky. It would leave us exposed during the approach. The deadweight could attack us freely and we'd be defenseless until combat systems are online. It's a calculated risk. Diverting their fire from the transport to us is the only way to save that ship. Our hull should hold against a barrage. You make the call, Captain. Okay, so... Am I the player, the captain? I don't know. I thought this guy was the captain of this Magpie ship, which was us, but I guess not. Fine. Maybe he's just the gunner, which would make sense. So, yeah, okay. But anyway, so we can if we give ourselves a disadvantage, we will gain a morale, which would be quite cool. We can wait until the weapons are fully charged before engaging to give ourselves a combat advantage, or just stay out of it and lose morale. We're gonna accept a bigger risk to gain a morale. Acknowledge, Captain. It's the right call. Preparing for the maneuver now. Prepare for combat. You divert all power to the engines and fire up the thrusters to their maximum capacity. Before long, the deadweight ship stops firing on the civilian transport and turns its attention to you. Here we go. So they've got a flak barrage, and this is quite nasty little thing. It's going to tell us what it is, I think. A flak cannon inflicts random damage within a range, 3 to 7, as we can see. This was a little hard to get my head around, but I'll do my best. Attacks have a shredding value. Hull damage from a flak attack that is equal or higher than the attack's shredding value triggers a shred status on the target, us. Each shred stack raises flak's minimum damage by 1. Shred decreases by 1 if not reapplied in a turn. So basically, if it hits for big damage, it can shred our hull, and then subsequent flak barrages will do more damage, effectively. But if I hold this up, so shredding 5, so it needs to roll... I don't know if it's 6 or 7 or 5, 6, 7, but hull damage required to apply shred. Yeah, so I think if it hits us for 5, which is... it's got a good chance of doing, sort of 60% chance of inflicting that shred, means incoming minimum flak damage will raise by 1. But it doesn't seem to affect the max damage, but it, you know, it can stack, I think is the idea there. So what we're going to do, I have 8 morale. I could do quite big damage to something. So that would do 6. I could get it up to 7 damage on the flak, so it won't completely neutralize that. But I think it's worth doing, so I'm going to use 5 resources on that. We're going to put on the target lock, and then we're going to hit the flak barrage and 7. So it is going to hit us. Hopefully it rolls low. It did 5, so we've got that shred effect on. So now we can see it's 4 to 7 damage on that flak barrage. It doesn't seem to affect other weapons, though, I don't think. So what could I do? I could launch a missile. I could do a targeted laser pulse, though, and take down that flak, which I think I'm going to do. Or is it better to leave that until next turn when it's going to fire? Maybe it is. So I'm going to actually launch my missile, I think.
Missile is in flight.
And that depletes. So you get 2 missile cards per combat, it looks like, initially. And I'm going to do this, in fact. Put some heat on it. So it's going to take heat damage. It's going to hit... I couldn't block anything anyway. I've got 4 cards this time, but I didn't take that upgrade, did I? So I don't know quite why that's doing that. Oh, I think you get 1 card slot per hard point, so we added the missile hard points. That makes sense. And our missile damages it, which is good. It would hit us for flak, but I'm going to use my laser pulse to just knock that out, so we don't get hit by it. There's no point. There's no point blocking because it's not going to do anything. So yeah, we'll just end there. I might need to block next time. So he's only got 8 health left. Beam sweep should probably be enough here because we'll put on that ignite. Hopefully blow him up, which it should. So I'm not going to block. I don't think we need to. I think he's just going to blow up. There we go. So now we get a point defense cannon, which is going to... Let's do add card first. So Catalyst Pulse, deal 4 damage. All pulse cards played this turn deal +1 damage. So for instance, that's our laser pulse, our paired pulse. Could be quite good. Light torpedo. Deal 8 damage after 2 turns. So these do after 1 turn. Requires 3 production. Don't know, maybe a bit complicated. Shield amplifier, gain 10 shield. Requires shielded. Okay, so if you already have a shield, you can gain 10 more with this. Gain 1 shield point every time you play a laser or ion attack. That is pretty good. It is quite costly to play though. I'm just thinking of that for mass resource because I'd need to maybe upgrade my engines or something to be able to afford that. I think I'm going to take the Catalyst Pulse. So we're going to take our point defense cannons, and this means we're going to be able to shoot down enemy missiles when we'll have to draw the right card, but it'll give us the opportunity to do that. So we're going to place this in our auxiliary mount here. So that gives us an ability to, yeah, as I said, shoot down the missiles. So let's move on to repair station. Oh, good. We have taken a little bit of a battering. You come across an abandoned repair station. A large part of it has been stripped clean by scavengers, but upon closer inspection, one of the maintenance bays still seems to be functional. Yeah, let's dock and do repairs. It might not look like it, but some of the equipment left here is actually in good working condition. So it's repaired 12, so that's pretty good. Your engineer gets to work with the assistance of the rest of the crew. A few hours later, the hull looks better than ever. Cool. Right, let's go to this waypoint. Sir, I wish I knew that he... Because I know it's not me now, I'm going to change his voice up, even though it's quite late on. Sir, a gunship is getting ready to fire. They must have some stealth tech that kept them hidden from the Magpie sensors until they made their way into direct engagement range. We've got an incoming hail. Patch it through. There you are, little Magpie. We'd be looking forward to having a word with you. This doesn't need to get messy. Hand over the data core you've got in your hold, and you'll fly away unscathed to the rest of your salvage. Power down and prepare for boarding. Captain, if we power down our reactor, we're as good as dead. We're dead either way. We can't take a light cruiser on in this ship. Then we go down slinging. I'm not taking orders from a pirate. Engage combat protocols. We make our stand. So this is like the boss encounter for this region. It saddens me to hear you chose violence, Captain. The data core is designed to withstand thermonuclear blasts. Don't expect us to hold back. So I think this is actually an unwinnable battle because this thing packs a punch. But we don't need to kill him, which I didn't realize when I played. Careful, that spread shot can shoot down our missiles. Yeah, so this thing is kind of how he shoots down missiles. So we've got to notify damage and destroy the closest enemy missiles. That fires every turn. We can knock it out, but to be honest, it might be better to knock out his missiles. This will continue to stack damage, though. So what's he doing this turn? Well, he's doing that 0 to 5 damage. That's all he's doing. So we could block. Probably should block. Paired pulse. So that's going to do 6 damage. There's not much point getting the missile off, so I might actually just discard that. Because it'll get shot down. Do we block? I mean, we should block. We should block. So we'll block all that damage. And I guess I'll do paired pulse, and I'm going to aim at his missile bay. I think it's quite nasty. And I'm not going to use any of these yet. We'll save those for a rainy day, I think. Yeah, so there we go. So 4 damage, but we took it on the shields. He's going to fire a missile. He's going to do 4 damage there, plus 0 to 5 there. So we probably need to block that. I'm going to get rid of that missile as well. I'm not going to use target lock this turn. I can't anyway, but hopefully we can block most of that damage. I could take extra resources, but I think I'll save it. So we took a couple of hull damage there. He's got his missile off. Hopefully I get a point defense cannon. I do, which is perfect. Okay, so we're going to play that. We're going to shoot down his missile.
Enemy missile intercepted.
Can I do... Okay, so I can't target that. I can do damage to him. I'm going to take the resources, I think, now. Because that means I can do the beams, the target lock, and the beam sweep. I know we're going to take damage from the spread shot here, but I think it was worth it to apply that damage. Okay, luckily it didn't do very much. So I'm going to. Ooh, okay, so he's using a different weapon this time, so he's not going to shoot down a missile. Could be worth launching that then for 2 ordnance. I can do both of these attacks, actually. I'm not going to be able to block anything, which is kind of rough, but I kind of want to... I can't even completely take that down either, but... The thing is, I think we need to get the attacks in while we can. Yeah. So we're going to take some hits here.
Incoming missile.
Another PDC would be quite nice here.
Target
Got our missile in though, which is good. We actually do get the PDC burst, so we'll use that. That's pretty much it for my turn, isn't it? there's nothing else I can do. I don't have the resources for it, so I'm getting quite a lot of this in, so I might take that down and add some more ordnance. Ordnance or energy? Maybe energy. Okay, it means we can get a couple of blocks in next time. He's doing the spread shot again, so that's not going to... That means that it... Oh, we lost our things that didn't attack, unfortunately. Okay, well we can take down his missile that was about to launch, which is good. And then I think we go... So how much damage is he? He's doing quite a lot of damage, so I think we should block twice there. I might discard the other block card. Let's see if we can get a nice hand of cards next time. So we should lose a stack of shred, do we? Maybe it already did. Light barrage. So we could launch the missile. Catalyst pulse. All pulse cards played this turn. Okay, so I don't have any of those. So I could play... Yeah, so let's launch our own missile, which will hit.
Missile launched.
And we'll do our beam sweep. Do I want to get 2 of each resource? I couldn't attack, but it would stack for next time. No, I'm going to maybe use it for an attack.
Hull's taking damage. Target hit, Captain.
Okay, we're doing quite well actually. Better than I did the first time round. So target lock I think I'll play. And beam sweep I suppose. I don't have enough for this, fortunately. That's about as good as I can do. I'm not getting my block cards, unfortunately. That's not too bad. We're only taking only 2 to 6 damage this time. But I think I'm gonna try and get some more damage on this shot. I'm gonna use target lock first. Oh no, that's not the one. This one. 9 damage. Okay, that's not nothing. Got some applying some good heat to him. Damn, he maxed out his flak damage, unfortunately.
Missile is in flight.
Now this is why we don't need to beat him, because this is a scripted event that at the end of this turn he's gonna die anyway. But could we beat him? No, because I don't have an attack I can do. So I'm just gonna block, and then when we end our turn, it's like we got some company. We'll settle this some other time, Captain. So he runs away because we've had reinforcements. I think we might have had a chance to beat him because we got him quite low. I did better in that than I did in my first attempt. But from that it tells me that it is scripted, that after a certain number of turns he just runs away. So what we got here? Grid fire, what's that? If missiles incoming, take down up to 3 enemy missiles, else deal 2 damage 3 times. No VFX. What? So that's 6 damage, or take down 3 missiles. That's pretty good. Rather than another one of those. Yeah, I'm gonna take that, I think. That sounds pretty good. Continue. Looks like we arrived just in time, Captain. The Director dispatched us for your safe return after hearing about the Atlas incident. We'll continue the pursuit of that ship. Your part of the station is secure. Good, so we can get to our home station now and end the region. Home station up ahead, Captain. Preparing docking procedures. Once docked, the station's spin gravity kicks in. You and your crew disembark and head to your station quarters to rest, while dock workers start unloading the cargo bay. A few hours later, you're called in to meet the station director in her office. I've had our researchers look at the data you brought back in that black box. While heavily encrypted, Rin managed to extract some data on the research they were conducting at the station. It has to do with the anomaly that swept through our system a while ago, knocking out a large part of our electronics. The equipment aboard the station was able to extract some sort of information on it, leading them to believe it was a message or signal of unknown origins. The data shows multiple star systems within the Breachway network were similarly affected, which led to them to trace the trajectories to a set of coordinates where they converge. Whatever it may be, this information is far too dangerous to keep here. The Solarii will come looking for it sooner or later. They're already moving their ships to close the system's breachway access points. They don't want this getting out. Take the black box with you and leave. Rin will accompany you and try to further decrypt the data. Judging by the Solarii response, the signal might lead to something important that could shift the balance of power. Me and Ivan are joining you as well. We want to see this to the end. We're preparing a Corvette-class gunship in the hangar for you. Posing as a mercenary will allow you to move freely within the Breachway network without raising suspicions. Once you are ready to leave, head to the random system of the Breachway network, and from there start making your way towards the signal. This should make it more difficult for the Solarii to connect you to this whole thing. Godspeed, Captain. Head to the hangar. So now we get a different ship for the next one. Looking at it, this is the one that the game gives you, this Arbalest class ship, which is kind of cool. Obviously a bit bigger than the last one. We've got different... we've got an extra weapon mount, launch bay, utility hardpoint and stuff. We've got a pulse laser this time that does the precision stuff already, which is kind of cool. The barrier shield we've seen. The resource booster. Don't know what that does. Well, that's cool. There are other ships, but not available in the demo, like this Marauder ship, which is a flat gun. And other stuff. You have to reach the sector boss with the Arbalest to unlock. So again, a bit like FTL, that you have to do certain things to unlock different ships. And then this Lancer, which is not available in the demo. We've got a railgun. Sounds kind of cool. But we're going in the Arbalest. It's going to introduce us to this thing in the top right in just a second, but we're going to accept the Arbalest as our ship for this sector. So there we go. This is what a sector map looks like. So we can see the sort of main... Oh, okay. I'm just going to talk about faction relations first. So there are 4 factions in the system. In the game, presumably. So we have Solarii, which we had mentioned a lot in that prologue. And I think they're the main enemies for the game, because with 2 pips, we can see that we are disliked by them. Lower chance of ambushes and negative events. 1 pip is hated, can lead to negative event outcomes and possibly ambushes, so that might well drop down further. 4 to 5 is neutral, so well, we're disliked by the Deadweights, the pirate group, which makes sense. The Starkin is neutral, but 6 pips is allied, can lead to fire support from allied ships in combat and better rewards. That's the free roamers. They're the ones who came to our aid at the boss fight in the last area. Captain, our sensor detect a group of Starkin gunships on our flight path. Looks like they're trying to block any ships from entering the system through this breachway corridor. Judging by the large number of civilian ships further ahead, the blockade is meant to keep people in. It looks like the gunships are in disarray. They haven't reacted to our approach. If we make a run at full burn, we can pass through with little fighting. Okay. So we can see a couple of things. There's okay, so there's a neutral... That's the Starkin space station, isn't it? We can see there's a blockade there. Elite combat with the pirate group there. We've got a Solarii dislike space station, so probably best to avoid that one. The free allied space station there. We've got a neutral one there, which is unallied to any faction. And we've got a boss combat here. And a lot of unknowns. That's interesting. That's... Oh, I think that's indicating that oh no, when you hover over a node in a one of these secondary parts, it tells you the fuel cost on the icon. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it's difficult to kind of plan a route, I suppose, because without knowing what's coming up. I mean, we probably know that we want to maybe get to the Allied space station. Maybe want to avoid the Elite. Let's try going to the blockade. Busy with trying to prevent the civilians from fleeing the system, only 1 gunship has noticed our approach. It's heading our way on an intercept course, prepare for combat. So I think the training wheels are going to come off at this point. Nothing we haven't seen before. Looks like a little ship. So again, with the morale, we got the attack damage boost, the resources, and Rin adds 4 shield points, which is kind of cool. So what's he doing? Nothing really. He's doing nothing this turn. Ordnance Surge. Gain 4 ordnance. Sustain 2 heat. Lose up to 4... Okay, so this is a temporary boost. I don't think we need 2 of those. So I'm going to discard one of those. I'm going to do a targeted shot at his laser, I think. And we'll leave it at that. Okay, conservation. Gain 1 energy for every 2 ordnance you spend this turn. Okay. Well, I'm going to spend 3, which would mean 3 energy. Do I need that? Not really. Then this doesn't cost anything to play. Let's just play it. There we go. So we're going to... we don't need that, because we've got enough ordnance to do what we want to do. Oh, Catalyst Pulse is precision. Oh, okay. Well, let's take another shot at his laser then. There we go. What's he doing? We've got... Oh, I didn't put my barrier up yet. We do need to do that. Because he's going to attack. It's alright. I think if you can avoid using command points, it's probably wise to do so, as long as you're not at your maximum, because it will we'll get a certain number next turn for the next combat. Okay, well, we can knock out his laser, which I think we will do. Do I want to do that, to do another attack? I don't think it's necessary, because he's limited in what he can do, really. We're not going to need the barrier, we'll get rid of that. The laser pulse, is that going to do anything? 4 damage, he's got 4 shield. I think we save it for next turn when it's going to go down to 2 shield. So Catalyst Pulse. All pulse, yeah, so we play this, and then this will do an extra damage. I've got enough to play both, I don't need the Ordnance Surge, so... I'm wondering if I do that, does it mean it's going to take longer to repair? That's what I'm wondering.
Enemy shields down.
No. But we did the damage anyway, so it wasn't a wasted attack. I guess I could do that on the shields one as well. He's only got 6 left. He's not attacking this turn, so I'm going to get rid of that barrier as well. Let's just end the turn. Okay, he's got his laser back. It doesn't reset the pips, it looks like. He's not attacking. He's going to put his shields up though, so we definitely need to attack. Can we knock that out? Not quite. So he's gonna shoot this time. That's just the shield's just going to absorb that, so there's not much point. So we'll put our barrier up.
Shields up, Captain.
Yeah, so we can kill him this time.
Enemy shields down.
There we go, nice and easy. And a card. So, Repeater Pulse, deal 4 damage. Return a laser card from the discard pile to your hand. Oh, that's kind of cool. Cannot return itself though. I like that. Shield Amplifier we've seen. Armament. Generate an extra ordnance for every 2 attack cards you hold at the end of your turn. I kind of like the sound of the Repeater Pulse. I'm going to take that. Okay, so we have to... Okay, so there's another blockade square. But I think we're going to leave it there for now. This was just a look at a quick look at the demo, the prologue, and a little bit of the rest of it. By all means, check out the demo for yourself. As I said, it's free on Steam at the moment. Still a little over a month to go until the early access launch. But I'm liking the look of this a lot. I mean, I liked FTL, I liked Slay the Spire, and any game that sort of mashes up both is something that I'm interested in. It's on my wish list. I don't know if I mean, I'll definitely play it on the channel, I think. Whether or not that includes the early access release, I don't know, because, I don't know. I sometimes find with the early access stuff that it kind of spoils the full release for you. But maybe I'll buy it in early access and take a quick look at it. Maybe do a sector or something. But let me know in the comments your thoughts on the game, if it's something you'd like to see more of on the channel. Yeah. And we'll definitely do that. But thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, if you could hit that thumbs up button, that's always appreciated. As is leaving a comment. Everything helps every bit of engagement helps the channel to get noticed and to grow, which is always, as I said, very appreciated. And if you're watching this, enjoyed it, and haven't yet subscribed to the channel, would be amazing if you could. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.